guys! All right, we are starting our in-depth look at our van. So this is part of our van tour series, and we're going through each aspect, kind of one at a time in a lot of detail, so you guys can get kind of our perspective and a first-hand look at our build. So we're starting today with our layout and what we did with our van to take it from an empty cargo van to what it is today. So we spent a lot of time in the blueprint stages, kind of planning out what exactly we wanted our van to look like. So if you don't know, we got the 170 wheelbase Mercedes Sprinter van. What that means is that we've had 14 feet of usable space inside the van when you cut the cab off all the way to the back. So we were working with 14 feet long by about 5'6" in width, give or take, because the van is obviously curved. Where we lay on our bed, it's just about 5'6". The first component that I want to talk about in regards to our layout is what we're calling our open concept, or a more open floor plan than what you might be accustomed to seeing in a van. So a lot of times what builders or DIYers do with their van is kind of make like a galley. So they'll have counters on one side, walking space in the middle, and more counters on the other side. I totally understand the need to do this in regard to storage space, having more prep space, and having more closet, etc. But for us and for our needs, and given that we have the 170 wheelbase, so we do have a good amount of length to our van, we didn't feel that we needed the storage of both sides, and we wanted to maximize our open space. So rather than have a galley style, we decided to go with just one side where we would put our kitchen, our shower, and our closet on one side, and on the other side here, keep it as open as possible. We do have our drop-down table here, but it's able to be stowed, and fold down, so you still have this nice open floor plan. We really value having enough space to not feel confined, being able to both coexist in here easily, having space to sit on the floor, having space to play with our future puppy. So this was what was important to us, and we don't have a lot of things. If you haven't been following along from the beginning of our journey here, we sold 95% of our stuff when we left to hike the Pacific Crest Trail. So we don't have a lot of stuff, and we fit it all very easily in the space that we've got here. We even have extra space still. So yeah, this was just the layout that we spent a lot of time, laboring over. We went through many stages of blueprints and just ultimately found something that we absolutely love. We've even kept like our wall space here pretty bare, just because we don't want anything that kind of we feel boxes the space in. We debated during the planning process of doing upper cabinets here, right where Jess has this beautiful pothos, because we weren't sure if the closet storage space was going to be enough for us. But we decided that we can always add these in if we need them, and right now we don't. So we're really excited about kind of the minimalistic look that we have in here, and it's serving our needs really well. We have gotten a couple of questions about how our van drives, given that most of our weight is on one side. That's a totally valid question and something that we thought a lot about. We do have our water tank on this side under the bed. It's a 40-gallon water tank, so when it's all the way full, it's over 300 pounds. And we have 2 batteries in the middle in the back, and then 2 on the driver's side. Overall, though, I find that it drives pretty well. If it's windy, you do have to be a bit, I guess, on guard against the van swaying a little bit, because it does want to move if it's windy. But, I found that to be true even when I was driving it empty. So far, having, I guess, the bulk of our weight on one side hasn't proved to be an issue for us. The next item that I want to talk about is the front section here. So obviously we boxed this off. Some people go with a curtain across, some people leave it open and do swivel seats. We ultimately chose to wall off the cab. We did this for a couple reasons. Reason number one is for kind of your stealth / security aspect of it. From the outside, it just kind of looks like a cargo van with a wall in there. So, you're not open to the outside. If you're trying to be a little bit more stealth, you can, kind of hide out that way. The second reason is for insulation. So we have a really nice thick wall here. And what we've done is put insulation inside of this so that if the cab is really hot, it can stay cool back here, and vice versa. And number three, it just makes it feel like more of a home, to walk in and have kind of your space here, that you don't see a steering wheel, you're not seeing, the seats that you sit in when you drive. It feels a little bit more homey. I know that we could have had a little bit more space if we did the swivel seats, but swivel seats are pretty expensive, and we just didn't feel like it fit the design of what we were going for. Also, Jess wants me to tell you that if we did the swivel seats, we couldn't have our wonderful plant balcony. So, yeah. The whole build would have been ruined. We also get a lot of storage with this bench area here, and we really like it. Yeah. Another component of our layout is our windows. So when we bought this van, it was a cargo van. And what that means is it doesn't have any windows back here. So we had the back two windows installed professionally because those are adhesive windows. And I didn't feel comfortable getting those suction cup magnet things to pick up your $350 windows and hold them up to an adhesive that you have put on the van. No. But for the other ones here, we installed these ourselves with our builder, and it went really smoothly overall. It's definitely doable, and I really, really recommend it. We value natural light so much. It's something that we look for, all the time, is how we're oriented to the sun and making sure that we are getting the most natural light that we can in here. And so going with these 4 windows that we put in, we think it's definitely worth it. It was a huge, huge need for us, and something that we really appreciate. All right, the last component of our layout that we're going to discuss today is our bed height. It was super important for us to be able to sit up all the way straight in our van. We've seen in a lot of people's builds that they're a little bit hunched, that they can't sit up all the way, they can't stretch out. And it was important to us for it to feel like home, to be able to sit up in bed. We do work in bed, we watch movies, we are on Netflix, all these things, and we like to sit up, as high as we can. I didn't want to feel like we were in a top bunk somewhere. So we made the decision to put our bed at a height that we still have, about 6 inches above our heads before they hit the ceiling. And that was really, really critical for us. Now we're able to do that because we don't have things like bikes or surfboards or, big gear that we needed to store in our garage under the bed. So we're able to kind of make the most of the space given our needs, and go with space that we still have a good sized garage underneath, but we still have enough space above us that we're comfortable. All right, so that wraps up our first video in our detailed van tour series. I hope that you enjoyed this kind of inside look into our layout. If you have any questions, as always, drop them in the comments below, and we'll do our best to answer them. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.